Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You're watching makoge.com. Today we'll be discussing on inspection request. So basically, this is just to throw light on how to carry out an inspection while carrying out construction activities in a project. So, like we all know, constraints in construction, we before we carry out certain activities or after carrying out certain activities, we have to make sure that we raise inspection for these said activities, be it material, work, or probably testing and commissioning. So these are the procedures that we have to follow. So today's topic is going to throw more light on the different procedures that we have to follow as well as the different documents that we have to compile together before raising or requesting for an inspection. So inspection request in construction is a process to make sure that all materials, submittals, work activities, and procedures comply with the project plan as well as the specification of the project. This is normally done by the contractor to the client representative or the client itself or the consultant, or put it that way. So in construction project, we have different activities that are being subdivided into different activities as well. So here, if we'll be talking of probably mechanical or electrical or plumbing services, so we have them divided into three different parts, which we have the first fix, second fix, and the third fix. And before we dive into all these different fix, like I did mention, the first fix, second fix, or the third fix, if you are a subcontractor, what you have to do is we have prerequisites that we have to follow. If you're a subcontractor dealing with the main contractor, you have to submit what we call a pre-qualification, which is very important. So, but before I dive into that, I'll just give an outline on the different procedures or the different steps that we have to follow from the beginning right up to the end when we are raising inspection, be it raising an inspection, review an inspection, or preparing an inspection. Basically, in construction, when we are carrying out or raising an inspection, we have a front page which we have to attach. So this front page, we have set of activities or set of information that we have to fill to attest that this said inspection is for this particular inspection to be carried out or is being carried out in this particular location and all that. The front page will have various elements such as the name of the project, we have the contractors, client, consultant, logos that are going to be found there. And then we have as well as inspection request number, shop drawing numbers, method statement number, ITP, etc. etc. So we have also location to be inspected. That also be mentioned in the front page. We have date and time of the inspection that we are planning that the inspection is going to be carried out. And then next we have the specific trade. In this case, when we are talking of different trades like mechanical, electrical, plumbing, civil, architecture, etc. So we have to make sure that we outline that particular service or that particular trade that we are carrying out this inspection. Next, we'll be talking of a space. A space will be allocated for the consultant comments or review. And then next, we will also have the space for the consultant comment, like I did mention. And then the next, we'll be talking of the status of the inspection or the remark which will be made by the consultant or the inspector that will be carrying out this particular inspection. So we're talking of maybe code A, code B, code C, or code 1, code B, code 1, code 2, code 3. So all that also be explained during the quality plan. In the quality plan will be explained as well in the what is code A, what is code B, and what is code C. And also you have to provide a section for names and signatory of both the consultant and the contractor. So I'll throw light on the ITP, but I'll make a video on the ITP same way that I did for the method statement. So yeah, an ITP is an inspection test plan. In there, we are going to have certain points that will be mentioned in the ITP, such as the activity description. So in this activity description, we are going to explain what is the different activities that will be carried out in that particular ITP or in that particular inspection test plan. Talking of the reference documents, which is a quality control point as well. So the next we'll be talking of the frequency. Frequency now is how often is this particular ITP used, or how often is this particular method statement, if at all the ITP is attached alongside with the method statement, because it varies also with different projects. Some project might put it in their project plan as method statement should be prepared separately from the ITP, and some other project might put it in a way that method statement and ITP should be prepared alongside as one document. The next, we're talking of verifying acceptance criteria. In this acceptance criteria, we're going to explain the conditions that must be met for an acceptance for that particular inspection. So next, we'll be talking of verifying documents, we'll be talking of verifying parties, we'll be talking of verifying codes. So this is just to throw light on the ITP so we get to understand what is an ITP. So I'll begin straight away with the sample inspection documents as far as inspection requests are concerned. So in the beginning stage, if we are carrying out electrical or plumbing or mechanical installation work in a building, we have to first of all make sure that we have our material submitter, which is prepared, submitted for review and approval, get approval before we can move to the next step. So the first we'll be talking of material submitter. So in the material submitter, we will have a set of documents that we have to put together. Or when you're reviewing this material submitter, we have to make sure that we get to see all these different documents that are attached to the material submitter. So we'll be talking of the company profile. The next, we'll be talking of product data sheets. We're talking of ISO certificates. We're talking of the trade license. We're talking of the previous approval in case of maybe the contractor have worked in, the vendor have supplied materials in different projects. So that will be mentioned as well there. We're talking of the latest quality test report for that particular material. Then next we'll be talking of material catalog, which will be attached alongside with the material submitter. So we'll talk of the bill of quantity or the BOQ that is going to highlight or going to show the different materials that are uh, um, to be brought in or to be mentioned in that particular material submitter. Next, we'll be talking of related drawings as per the specification. We're talking of compliance sheet in case of maybe we have certain specification that are mentioned in the contract. So you have to mention all these different specification and then you comply to them. Or probably if this material submitter was raised previously as code as a revision 0, and then you got maybe code B or code 2, which is set, or code C that you need to revise and resubmit. So by revising and resubmitting, you have to make sure that you close all those comments that were being generated during the revision 0. So in this case now you have to comply to that different comments that were generated. So next we're talking of country of origin, where those materials are coming from or where they were manufactured. So next we'll be talking of warranty certificate. So warranty certificate will tell you how long this material or the durability of this material, how long they are going to be used without before having defects. We'll talk of the vendor list as well as technical data sheet that will be attached as well in the material submitter. And then before this material submitter, if in case we're talking of you being as a subcontractor for a main contracting company, so you have to submit a pre-qualification document as well, which will show the different. We have the ISO certification of that company. We have alongside with different CVs for the different employees that are working in that company that will be employed or deployed for that particular project. So um, after doing going through the material submittal, we have to move to the material delivery inspection. So once the material submittal is being approved, we have to move now to the material delivery inspection. So once we get approval, we have to bring this material from the vendor, probably from the manufacturer or from the factory, bring them to site. And then before we start installation on site, we have to make sure that we carry out a material delivery inspection, which is the second point. So in some other project, you might call this as MAR, the material submitter, material approval report or request, which will be submitted as material submittal, and then the material delivery inspection or the MDI, which is the material, um, which is still the material inspection request, MIR, which is material inspection request. So some other project might call it as such. So when you see the different abbreviation, you should not be panicking or probably get confused on the different abbreviations. So for this material inspection request, so we have a series of documents that we have to put together before we submit for an inspection. So we have to make sure that we fill in the front page, which, like I did mention, we have the different components. After filling out the front page, you have to move now to the delivery note, making sure that the delivery note is as per the materials that are brought to site. So we attach alongside this delivery note. The next now we attach the material submittal or the material MAR, the material approval report. So to make sure that these materials are found in the material submittal as well, which will be mentioned in the a list of materials from the vendor or as per the project specification. So next we'll be talking of attaching as well the certificate of origin, which is already attached in the material submitter. Next we'll attach as well the test report, which also have been mentioned in the material submitter. Then we'll also attach warranty certificate and then also attach warranty letter from the supplier attested that this material will not have any defect for this particular period of time that will be mentioned in the warranty certificate. So after all these have been approved by the consultant or by the client representative, so the next point now we'll be talking of carrying out the installation on site, which is the third point. So the carrying out the installation on site, now we start moving on the first fix, second fix, and the third fix. So for the first fix, mainly for the first fix, which involve conduit works. It can be galvanized iron, it can be PVC conduit, it can be maybe when we're talking of firefighting pipes, maybe plumbing pipes and all that. So when we're talking of the first fix, we'll be talking of all these different activities. So to carry out these different activities, we have also set of documents that we have to put together. So we have to fill the front page as well. After filling the front page, we make sure that we get our MAR or the material approval report or the material submittal approved. We can attach alongside and then attach alongside with the MDI, which is a material delivery inspection, and then also attach um, the latest revision of the shop drawing, which is very important. For the first fix, if in case we'll be doing wall installation, maybe doing the back box installation and all that. So we have to make sure that we cooperate or coordinate alongside with the interior design. So get the interior design drawing to make sure that all the heights, dimensions, locations are all matching as per the interior design drawing. So that also can be attached alongside with the inspection for first fix. So once all that are attached, we also attach alongside maybe blow up a drawing for that particular location that needs to be inspected, put them highlight for the areas or the locations that we need to carry out the particular inspection. So once that all is attached, we can now submit for inspection first fix. So the next we'll be talking of second fix. For the second fix now, all the different documents that were attached in the first fix, we will attach them as well in the second fix. But again, we have to add an additional document which will be an approved first fix inspection. The first page we have to print out as well and then attach with the previous attached documents of the first fix. So we put them together, we submit also for an inspection. For the third fix, after this is approved as well, we'll move now to the third fix. For the third fix now, we will attach all these different documents as well, which we attach for the second fix. We attach them when raising the third fix, and then we attach an approved copy of the second fix for this particular inspection as well, which is the third fix. So once the first, second, and the third fix is done, we can now move now to the punch list closure. So when closing the punch list, we will have certain documents that are put together as well. So the punch list is also called the snack list. So these are comments, or these are non-conformance which are being generated during the construction activity. So we have to close all of them before moving to the next phase of the project, which is the commissioning stage. So by closing all this, we have to go through all the different first phase, second phase, and the third phase, ensuring that we have all them as code E. Or if we don't have them as code E, we have to make sure we rectify all the different comments that were generated during the first phase, second phase, and the third phase, as well as also rectifying all the different comments that were generated during the site visit or the site walkthrough. So that will be called an SO or an SOR, site observation report. So we have to make sure we close this as well. And then also make sure that we close all the NCRs that were generated as well for the different services. So we close all of them, and then that we will attach all the different respective documents before submitting for the snack list or the punch list, to ensure that we will have all the different construction activities carried out and we don't have any comments that are left behind, so that we can move to the snack list closure. And again, for the snag list closure, we can still move on when we still have maybe code B for the different inspection requests. Um, all these comments as well that were generated during the construction phase, they should not be major comments. So because we have major comments as well as minor comments. So if we are discussing on electrical systems, for example, we have installation of panels. So when we install these panels, we pull cables, we drop them, and then we do grounding and termination. After doing that, we have to do termination now in the panel board. So if the incoming cable is not found during the first fix, second fix, and the third fix, or the construction activity, this comment now generated will be major comment. This is not a minor comment, because after all this have been done, we cannot give power to that particular panel board because of the incoming cable that is lagging. So that is a major comment. So that major comment needs to be closed in order to close that punch list. So minor comments can be maybe carrying out the termination of this panel board by glanding the cable on it, and then we did not put maybe ferrules, we did not put locks and all that. So all these are minor comments which we can still give power to the panel board and then proceed with testing and commissioning. So that will be generated as minor comments that we can also proceed. Then the punch list itself, when we get approval for the punch list, it will now also appear as code B, not code A. So we need to still come back again, rectify everything before we can move to the next stage of the project. So once we have the punch list that is closed as well, we can now move to mechanical completion. So mechanical completion is a stage or a process whereby it will attest that all the different activities that were being carried out in the construction phase are all okay and correct, and everything is in good shape. So we can move to either pre-commissioning based on the project, or dive straight away to testing and commissioning. So we'll have set of documents that we'll have to attach as well, which will be the front page of, we'll have to fill up the front page And then move also to attaching the snag list or the punch list approval, be it code A or code B. And then also attach as well the first fix, second fix, and the third fix inspection for that particular inspection or for that particular service that we need to get mechanical completion certificate. So we also attach the comments or comments disposal form that we will have to check the different comments that were being generated, put them there in the CDF or the comment disposition form, respond to them before we can submit for the mechanical completion. So after mechanical completion have been approved, we will get a certificate which will be mechanical completion certificate that is going to be signed by the client representative or the client itself to attest that we can proceed with pre-commissioning or with the commissioning activities. So next we'll be moving now to the commissioning. So number 4, we talk of the snag list, the snag. Number 5, we talk of mechanical completion. Then number 6, now we're talking of the pre-commissioning. So in the pre-commissioning or probably dive straight away to the commissioning activity. So here we will also have set of documents that we have to attach together to raise for this particular inspection. So for the pre-commissioning, we have to attach the front page. The next, we have to attach the commissioning checklist. So you notice that once we finish with the mechanical completion or probably the snag list, depending on how the project have structured their quality procedure. So some projects might not even have this mechanical completion from the snag list. They move straight away to pre-commissioning or probably move from snag list going to testing and commissioning. So in this case, we have to make sure that after the mechanical completion or after the snag list, be it how the procedure is mentioned in the project, we have to prepare again another method statement. So the same method statement that was used during the construction activity will not be the same method statement that we use in the pre-commissioning or in the commissioning activity, depending if this particular activity that was being carried out, they prepared a method statement stating that it will be used for both commissioning and the construction activities. I'll give an example of carrying out transformer installation or probably carrying out generator installation. These cases, we mostly find them having the same method statement that is being used for construction as well as for commissioning. So the next we'll be talking of attaching the testing and commissioning RAMs and the ITP, like I did mention. So after attaching that, we attach the latest revised shop drawing for that particular service. And then also we'll also attach the certificate, testing certificate if applicable. For this case, if applicable, then attach the punch list as well, which were closed and approved by the consultant before we can submit for that inspection for the pre-commissioning. Testing and commissioning as well will be the same procedure as per the pre-commissioning. We'll have the same documents that will be attached, but in this case now, after getting approval for the pre-commissioning, we have to attach the approved copy of the pre-commissioning before we can proceed with the commissioning inspection or raising of the commissioning for that particular service. So after all this have been done, we'll have to now start moving to making sure that we hand over the project to the client or to the consultant or to the client representative. So after our commissioning is being done, we will now have to go through another site acceptance test, which is SAT, which has to be done, get approval also by the consultant. We might get a certificate that we are tested by the client or the client representative that we have completed that particular service right up to that point. So we can hand over that particular service or we can hand over that particular activity. So basically, these are just basics on the different procedures and how we can carry out inspection request as far as construction activities are concerned. So the reason behind all this is to make sure that we get activities and services carried out with quality as well as safety. So that is the main reason why we have the inspection request coming up, so that we can get all the different activities structured together, so we get them carried out safely as well as with safety, which is very important. Thank you very much. Until then, you're watching makoge.com. Do like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, as well as comment as well, so we can best improve on the quality lessons of videos. Thank you very much. I hope to see you next time. You're watching makoge.com.